Hey guys, Cam here, and as you will know, I have been trying to use the BlackBerry Passport as my daily driver for the past few weeks. I'm now on day 17. In this video, I wanted to update you on some of the things that have been frustrating me in daily use. Obviously, I've been using iPhone and Android for the past few years. I've not really had a BlackBerry device for a prolonged period. So obviously there are going to be some things about the device and about the software that are going to get up my nose a little bit because it's not what I'm used to. So I wanted to share some of those with you. And I was going to try and list about 10 things, but I could only find 4. So here are my 4 frustrations and also something of a surprise revelation from my time with the BlackBerry so far. So number 1 on my list is the battery. It's huge, which is great when it comes to battery life because it will generally last me about 2 days. But what's particularly frustrating is that it takes hours to charge. Now, not such a problem when you're charging it at night and you're leaving it plugged in. Doesn't really bother me because I'm asleep. But in the daytime when the battery runs out and I want to be using my phone, it's quite frustrating to have it plugged in for quite a long time to get it back up to 100% again. I've tried it with quite high powered chargers and the regular lower powered ones, and it doesn't really seem to make any difference. So that's quite frustrating. It could do with some of that magic turbo technology that Qualcomm's developed and has let Motorola and other companies use in their devices. Number 2 on my list of frustrations is probably no surprise. It's to do with an app. Now, I'm quite a regular, almost daily user of Instagram. You can follow me if you want. I'm instagram.com/Cam Bunton, but the point is, I like my photographs to look good. Now, I've tried downloading the Instagram app for Android onto my device, but every time it launches, it just crashes, so I can't use it. So I have been using the BlackBerry alternative, which is called iGran. But the problem with iGran is that the resolution, once you upload the photos, is quite frankly terrible. All my photos are blurry, they look horrible. And when you want to go back and make a change, it's impossible. You have to take the photograph again, or at least it seems really counterintuitive. It's not a very nice experience. So it's frustrating to use, and the end result is frustrating too. So if you've got any better alternatives to iGran for Instagram, I would love to hear your suggestions on that. Number 3 sort of starts with a positive. The BlackBerry Passport is a great two-handed device. I can't remember the last time I had a phone that felt so good when you're holding it in 2 hands and you're typing away on the keyboard. But that also means that it's rubbish at being a one-handed device. Sometimes you just want a phone that you can pick up with one hand and do stuff with without having to take your whole attention in both palms. And number 4, the keyboard is fantastic and intuitive, and I love that it has gestures built in, but the one that's really quite frustrating is when you're swiping upwards to select a predicted word on one of the top rows when you're typing. Now, if you get it right, it's no problem, but more often than not, when I'm swiping up, I'll touch the bottom of the screen and select whichever symbol is shown there, a punctuation mark. So you have to be really careful and accurate, and it doesn't make for a very fast typing experience if you want to use those predictive words. So in most occasions, I just end up typing the entire word out because it's better than having the wrong thing on the screen. So those are my 4 frustrations, and the biggest surprise that I mentioned at the beginning of the video and probably in the title up there, the biggest surprise is that I'm not missing my iPhone, but rather I'm missing Android. Now, the iPhone was my daily driver, but what I miss about Android is something that you don't really get on an iPhone. It's the Hangouts and Google Now experience, because Hangouts is sort of built into the operating system, or at least it feels like it's built into the operating system. It's really nice to use. And I use Hangouts a lot to contact all my colleagues and friends. We use it for chatting on the fly. We use it for video conference calls. And yes, some of you may say that BBM is just miles better. And the truth is, I really like BBM as an app and the way it looks and the way it works, but it has a huge problem. Nobody that I know uses BBM anymore, so it's kind of pointless for me. And Google Now, there just really isn't an alternative to that on any platform. And the reason I say that is because it gives me all the information I want to know, and most importantly, especially this time of year with Christmas coming up, is it tracks all my packages that I'm ordering from Amazon or whatever. Whenever I get a confirmation in my Gmail inbox, I get a little card on my Google Now screen saying when it's been dispatched and letting me track it from there. And also, if I'm traveling to events, I need to be able to see travel options. I need to be able to see what my flights are doing, whether they're being delayed. And Google now just gives me all that information when I need it. I don't have to do anything except make sure that all my information is going into my Gmail inbox, and it does everything else itself. There isn't really anything else like it around, and I do miss that, and I miss Hangouts. And surprisingly, I'm not missing my iPhone. I will update you again in a couple of days' time. I won't leave it as long as I did this time, because I've got a video planned. I want to show you all the things that I really like about BlackBerry Passport and BB10. But that will come in a video soon, perhaps on Monday. I've been Cam, I'm at phonedog_Cam on Twitter. Ask me any questions on there and use the hashtag Passport Challenge to ask me questions, give me suggestions as always, and I will see you again soon. I was just about to start recording my video when I hear a massive truck reversing outside my house, complete with the reversing beeps. Irritating to say the least.